What's up, world? It's your boy Anubis, and welcome to some Civilization 5 Gods and King expansion pack, and we are playing as the Byzantine Empire, and we're going to be going for a scientific victory. So we started out in a decent spot. It could be better. I like that it's along a river, and we've got some gold and some wine nearby, but before I settle in there, I'm going to move these guys around. Usually this where you start out is a good spot to settle, and even if it's not the best spot ever, it gets you started on your growth, and you always build more than one city anyways, so you can build other cities in more lucrative locations. So we're just gonna settle with where we're at right now. And since we're going for a scientific victory, normally I build a monument first, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. Yeah, I'm gonna build a monument. We're gonna go ahead and build a monument. The reason I like to build a monument first is just because of the fact that what do we got? We don't really have any resources that are extremely necessary to pick up right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock out pottery. We are playing as the Byzantines, so we want to get started on our faith game as soon as possible because that is our greatest strength. But I like to build a monument first because of the fact that it gets you started on a pretty good gain of culture at the beginning of the game, and I'm going to be going with the liberty policy, and I want to get my first couple policies as soon as possible so I can get my free worker and I can get my free settlers and just get the perks of the extra culture that the liberty culture tree gives you. But oh, there we go. Some more luxury resources, some water. That is useful. But anyways, the Byzantine special units are the Cataphracts, which it replaces the horsemen, and the Dromon, I believe it's called, which I think it replaces Trireme. I'm not 100% sure. I doubt that I'll even get a chance to use it because since it's a pretty early on naval unit, I'm not going to really have a big navy that early in the game, so I doubt I'll get to take advantage of its perks, but I'm not really concerned about that. Oh, there we go. Found some ruins. That is useful. Go over there and pick that up. Hopefully we get some culture from these ruins. The best thing you can ever get out of these ruins is a culture bonus, especially early on in the game. The second best, in my opinion, would be a unit upgrade. That is also very helpful because you fight a lot of barbarians early on in the game, so getting upgraded to spearmen is a big bonus. So let's see what we got. Oh, an ancient technology. That's also very good. I will take that as well. And we got mining, so that's good because we do have some hills nearby our capital, and once we get some workers we can work on building some mines there that will greatly increase our production. And the more production the better. It's always good to have plenty of production. But anyways, I'm going to skip ahead a few turns since the beginning of the game is mostly just kind of exploring and just skipping a lot of turns. Alright, so we've got our monument completed, and that's going to be a big help for us because that pretty much triples our culture gain from 1 to 3, and that's very helpful at the beginning of the game. That's the reason I built it first. It looks like we're on a pretty small continent, so I'm not too worried about building a scout. Normally I would build a scout right about now, but actually I don't really know what the territory around me is, and there's not much room to my north, so I'm not too worried about expanding. So actually I'm going to build a scout. I'm going to build a scout in order to hopefully gain a few more ruins, get some extra benefits from that, and just explore southwards. and I met a couple of city-states. We've got Ragusa, which is a maritime, and Belgrade, which is a militaristic. I probably will try and align myself with Belgrade in order to get the benefit of free units. I don't really care so much about the other city-state, just because of the fact that I typically, I built right along a river. I'm going to have plenty of farms once I get my workers going, that I'm not overly worried about food. So I'm more interested in picking up some cultural city-states once I find them, because I am going for a scientific victory, and it's important to have plenty of policies and have some good culture going on, so that your science can also blossom because of the benefits of the policies. Let's see, we're going to pick up, which one do we need the most? I'm going to go ahead and start working on, why not? We'll just do archery. Safety first. Knock out archery while we have the time. There we go. Found another ruin and a barbarian encampment. Actually, that's not a ruin. I thought that was a ruin. We got our first barbarian encampment. So we'll go ahead and move our guys in to take that out. And once we get that scout built, we're going to start working on a yeah, we're going to start working on a shrine. Yeah, that is a ruin. Alright. I wasn't going crazy. Oh, there we go. Perfect. That's exactly what I was hoping for. Just found those barbarians, so I was able to upgrade these guys to spearmen thanks to the ruins. That's going to be a huge help in taking out these barbarians. They'll be able to go a lot faster because they'll be doing more damage to them. So I'm really happy about that, because that right there is extremely useful. Working on the barbarians over there. We've got enough culture to get our very first policy, and we're gonna go with the Liberty tree like I talked about, so that way we can boost our culture. Main reason I like to get Liberty is just because of the free worker, and then eventually the free settler. Those are just two really good perks early on in the game that help you with your nation's growth, and they save you a lot of time, because you don't have to build the settler, and you don't have to build the worker, which saves you about 20-25 turns depending on your production. And in that same amount of time, you can build a shrine, you can build a granary, which are going to do more for you and help you get that little edge at the beginning of the game. So that's why I like to go Liberty when I'm going for a victory that is not a military victory. If I'm going for a culture victory or a scientific victory like I'm doing this game, I like to go with the Liberty tree. Occasionally I'll go Liberty when I'm going for a militaristic victory, but that's usually when I'm trying to build up a strong economy and a strong nation and waiting till later in the game to attack. If I'm going to attack early on in the game, I'm going with the honor tech tree and going to be focusing more on that. That is great. Everything that I wished for at the beginning of the game, I got. We got a little culture bonus, which is going to give us the next policy in 2 turns now, instead of probably more like 8 or 9. So that's very helpful. And we're going to go ahead and go with rough terrain. There seems to be a lot of rough terrain where we're at. And instead of attacking on this turn, we're going to heal them up for a little bit, just because they pooped out another unit, and I'll have to take them out afterwards. So I need as much health as I can, just to be safe, because I don't want to lose that spearman unit right now, because they're my main unit for taking out barbarians. And it looks like somebody has founded their first Pantheon of the game. +1 faith from desert tiles. Alright. I probably could have used that one, just because I have plenty of desert nearby me. But that's okay. Discover more ruins. That is cool. We just discovered another set of ruins, got animal husbandry, so that finishes up that technology for us. I would have preferred a different one just because I was already researching it, but you know what, you take what you get. It's always a bonus to get things from ruins. And these barbarians are being a little aggressive. They're moving up on me, so I'm going to go ahead and attack them. And we can adopt another policy and get our first worker. This is why I love it. I've already got a monument built. I've almost got a shrine, and now I've got my very first worker, and I didn't even have to build them. It saved me a lot of time and getting started on building up my economy. We're going to start out with a farm and get our food going on. Let's see what we're going to research next. I think that I'm going to go for calendar so that I can pick up that wine over there and increase my happiness. Happiness is definitely important, so I want to pick up as many luxury resources as I can. We got our spearmen upgraded again. As you can see, I'm going for the drill, focusing on one terrain type in order to get a really good bonus. So that way whenever I do fight in that type of terrain, I'll have a huge advantage over my enemies. And we picked up that encampment. Our shrine is now finished, so we're getting started on the religion game, which is definitely big because I am Byzantine and we're all about religion. So I've got my start on that. We're going to go ahead and build a granary to work on growth. And we're doing pretty good. Oh, there's some horses. That is definitely good. I need to probably settle right around here. I don't know. I'd like to settle on the coast, but most likely I will settle probably, yeah, I'll probably settle. I'll settle right about where my scouts are, because I do want to pick up that cow. I want to get those horses, and even though I'd like to pick up that stone, I'd prefer to be on the coastline because I don't have a coastal city yet, and I'd like to have a coastal city so that way I can just have a base for when I start to build up a navy later in the game. I'll have a place to start building them that has a pretty good production. World's most progressive people. I am currently ranked 4th with no more social policies. So a couple of players have more policies than me, so they must be really working on their culture. Most likely they've already got a couple cities, because I still have just my capital right now. So I definitely will need to start building some more cities so I can get some more culture. And I have fully explored my home base here, so I don't need these scouts anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and delete them so I can get some gold and get more gold per turn. There's no point keeping them. I don't have the technology to cross the water yet, and the unit hasn't ranked up at all, so there's no point keeping them right now because they would just be wasting money. And currently I'm trying to get as much gold as I can so I can start aligning with the different city-states. Gold is always useful because the more city-state allies you have, the more benefits you get, and of course the less allies your enemies have later on in the game. So I'm going to be skipping around quite a bit in this first episode, probably the first couple episodes, guys, just because of the fact that the beginning of the game is a little slow. There's a lot of just mashing the turn button, and you know, so gold, let's go ahead and pick that up. That will be useful. So I'm going to be skipping around quite a bit for the first couple episodes until we get later on in the game, and then there's going to be a lot more going on every single turn. But I'm just going to be cutting out the slower parts and just sticking with the action. And we have calendar researched, so I'm going to go ahead and first build a mine, and then I'm going to jump on the wine over there and then grab that, and we can research something new. What shall we research next? Writing is definitely useful, but I haven't met any other cities yet, and the wheel is useful. I can use both of those. But yeah, I'm going to go for the wheel. Go for the wheel right now, so I can build a water mill to boost my production. And I'll at least have roads researched. I'm not overly worried about having roads right now. I obviously only have one city, but it's always useful just to get that knocked out so that once you get another city, build that road, get that trade route, and mostly just have that quick travel for you to be able to move your military units around quickly. And I rather like the fact that I'm the only person on this continent. Usually you start out with another nation on the same continent as you, but this game I'm the only one on this one, and it's a little bit of a small continent. I won't be able to expand too much. Probably only build 2, maybe 3 cities, possibly 4 I could fit in. 4, I mean, I honestly could fit in 5. I'd prefer to keep my city count lower. Even though I am going for a scientific victory, I'll probably end up building 5 cities on this continent. I may even take over 1 or 2 of the city-states up north, but I prefer to keep my territory smaller just to keep my happiness better. But, like I said, it's a scientific victory, so I need as many territories as possible, as much land as possible, so that I can build as many universities and libraries and get that all going as best as possible. So we finished building the granary here, and I don't necessarily, I could use a settler right now. It's 2 policies away before I get my free settler. Although I would like to build Stonehenge just because of the faith gain and the fact that I am the Byzantines. Although it's 26 turns is a bit much. Someone else is probably building it right now, and I don't know if I necessarily want to risk not getting it and wasting some time. So, you know what? I'm going to go for a settler. Just so I can start getting some more cities built. The sooner you get them built, the sooner they get built up, and the more built up they are, the better the production, and the more things that you can do with them in a quicker amount of time. And time is definitely key for this game, because the opponents that I'm playing are definitely going to be working on their science, and in order to get a scientific victory, I need to be the most advanced scientifically, and the only way to do that is just by having lots of cities and lots of... Oh, cool. They're rested up. And we're going to move them up north for now. I'd like to keep them nearby my capital in case any barbarians pop up. But at the same time, I would also like to check to see if there are any barbarian encampments up north, because that would really be helpful in gaining some influence with the city-states up there. And the more free influence you get, the better, because I just don't want to be paying all this gold, to constantly upkeep these city-states. I prefer to save it for as long as possible and get the city-states alliances as easily as I can. Alright, so we picked up our next policy. We got better production, so that's really helpful. I'm really glad about that. Next one we're going to be getting is the free settler. So even though I already have one being built, I'm going to get another settler just to get a city going on. And we got enough faith to pick up our very first religious basis. And I picked up the Messenger of the Gods, which is +2 science, and cities with a trade route. And like I said, I'm going for a scientific victory, so that is definitely a good one to have, especially since I'm definitely going to be connecting my cities with roads, and it's a good bonus to have. The wheel is now researched. That is definitely good, and we've got our luxury resource picked up down there. Let's finish out these barbarians. Looks like it's going to take an additional turn after this one. It's all good. Alright, so we got that knocked out. Let's build another farm for now. Actually, we're going to go... We already got 2 farms. I'm going to go ahead and build a mine right there, just so we can get our production boosted. I'm really going to be working a lot on boosting the production of things and all that. Ooh, yes, writing. We are doing science. Great Library is an amazing wonder. I absolutely love the Great Library. It's one of my favorite wonders to build, just because of the fact that you get a free technology. I usually use it in order to get iron working, because that's usually about the time that you get it built. That's the most advanced technology, and it's also the most useful, because knowing where iron is earlier in the game helps you plan out where to build your cities in order to take advantage of that, because iron is a very useful resource in the early parts of the game, just because of the fact that you need it to build all the early infantry. I really like Gods and Kings. They changed the way the iron and requirements work for units. Originally, you needed iron in order to build catapults and trebuchets and units like that. But with the new DLC, now you no longer need. Ooh, they want Stonehenge, so that's definitely next on my list. That's definitely helpful. Hopefully, I'll get that built, because then they will want to be my friends. Alright, what units order? They need to build a mine. Let's get that work. Ooh, that is unfortunate. I thought I was safe. My unit was weak, so I pulled them back across the river, but apparently it wasn't safe enough. So I just lost my very well upgraded spearman unit. That is a major blow early on in the game, because that now causes me to have to build another unit. I'm going to go ahead and quickly build a warrior unit, and yeah, that's just unfortunate, because I really want to start work on Stonehenge. So that's another 4 turns I have to wait, and when you've got lots of other nations in the game, that 4 turns can be the difference between getting it and not getting it, and so that's unfortunate. Especially, it's also unfortunate that I lost that unit, because Belgrade finally targeted the Barbarian Encampment to the north, and I would like to take them out in order to get some influence with them, but I just lost my only unit, so I am a little disappointed about that. That's very unfortunate, but what can you do? I should have rested that unit before finishing off those barbarians in the north. I didn't, made the mistake, and now I lost them. Well, the first religion has been founded. It's usually always Christianity that's founded first, I find. I'm not 100% sure on exactly how nations choose their religion. It seems to me that they tend to choose whatever they're historically known for. So, for example, England usually always found Christianity. The Ottomans, I think it's Buddhism. Oh, no, Islam. They usually found Islam. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not 100% sure on how they choose what religion to found. But I seem to be getting the impression from the few playthroughs that I've done that they tend to found religions that correlate with, what they historically follow. But anyways, yeah, someone's founded Christianity. So I don't really care what religion I found in this game. I like to go with whatever they're historically known for. So I would have liked to have found Christianity in Constantinople, but unfortunately it's already been founded. Not much I can do about that. So I don't know which one I'm going to choose to found. But we'll take care of that once we get enough to get a great profit. Wow. Speaking of which, I have 10 faith. That is ridiculous. Somebody has already founded a religion. They have a huge oh, that's great. More barbarians. They've got a huge head start on the religion game. I didn't think I was that far back, but apparently I am. Although I do believe I'm second. I'm the only other nation besides the one that has founded Christianity to have let's move these guys out of the way. Safety. I'm the only other nation to have founded a Pantheon so far. So it's not like I'm that bad off. There's still 3 religions to be founded. I shouldn't have any problem founding one of them. But I still want to make sure I keep up with my faith gain. Especially since now that the Great Library is literally about to be ready to be built. Once I get these archers knocked out, I'm going to go ahead and just build a Great Library and not even worry about Stonehenge. I really would like to have it, but I want to make sure I get the Great Library, because that's essential towards getting the scientific victory that I'm going for. So I'm going to have to focus on that instead. And Now I'm really excited because both of the city-states to my north want the same barbarian encampment knocked out, which is extremely useful because I'll be able to get influence of both of them at the very same time. So that I'm pretty stoked about. Let's see, what are we gonna pick up next? I'm gonna go ahead and grab. I'm gonna grab bronze working for now. We'll knock that out. But yeah, both of them also want Stonehenge. But like I said, there's not much I can do about that right now. It's already been a little too long in the game. I don't feel comfortable building it, mainly because all the other civilizations, at least one of them has to be working on it right now. And losing that unit set me back. So I'm going to go ahead and finish these archers and then start working on the Great Library, because that is really going to help me out. So upgrade these guys. Once again, we're going to do rough terrain. And I'm going to go ahead and rest them before I move them out, so I don't make the same mistake of losing a unit again. Work on a farm. And yeah, let's skip ahead a little bit more. The world's busiest people. I am right there up top. That is definitely what I like to see. I have one of the most advanced, there we go, let's get these archers out, most advanced cities. So that's definitely useful, especially since I already have one city and most of these other nations probably have multiple cities. So very good that I'm up there at the top. Let's move these settlers up. I decided to move up both my archers and my warriors just so I can knock these guys out quicker. And be able to get these settlers up here safely. I'm going to go ahead and found them right up here so I can take advantage of those horses once the city expands a little bit. And mostly I just want this coastal city. I really want a coastal city so that I can just be prepared to build a navy once the game progresses a little bit. We'll work on a farm. As you can see, I am building the Great Library, and that'll be done in 22 turns. I should be able to get it. I don't think any other nations, I mean, there is a chance that someone else is building, there's always a chance that someone else is building it. You can almost guarantee that someone's always working on the same wonder as you are. But hopefully I'll get it. Like, it's one of my favorite wonders to build, and that is essential to our victory. Constantinople has grown. Wondrous. Alright, let's knock out these barbarians. I'm going to get a rather handsome sum of influence with both of these city-states. That is good. 50 influence with both of them. Very, very good. I'm now friends with each one of them, and that's going to give me some perks. I'll be able to get some extra food from one of them, and less influence that I need to buy off of them, so that is useful. And we're just about ready to build our second city. We're going to build it right here on the coast, and it's in a pretty decent location. I mean, there's not really that many luxury resources around here, and I'm kind of founding the city so that it'll be beneficial once it grows. It's not going to necessarily do that much for me right now, just because of the fact that the horses are going to be out of range, the cow's going to be out of range, and I'm not going to be able to be in range of those fish down there for a little while. So it's more of a strategic location for later in the game. So there we go, we got that built. I'll probably buy those horses. We'll see. I don't like to buy tiles. Some people like to buy tiles. If you're that kind of player, I would recommend playing with the Americans, because that's just what their nation is built to do. But I don't like to buy tiles just because of the fact that, I mean, cities expand fairly quickly, and it looks like I can't attack them. That's unfortunate. I was hoping to do that. So I'm going to move these guys back here. Garrison them in Constantinople. And we finished bronze working. That's good. Bronze working is knocked out. So we are going to go ahead and research. We're going to research sailing. Why not? Get that knocked out. Probably I'm going to build one of those drones, whatever they're called. I'm going to knock one of those out, the dromons. get one of those in the water just to take care of these barbarian triremes, or barbarian galley. Yeah, knock out these barbarian galleys and get that star to rank up. It's always good to rank up units early in the game. I learned from playing that a lot of times I would attack an enemy and I would not really care if I lose my units or not, because I just figure, you know what, I can afford it, I'll just keep replenishing it. Well, I found that it's better to pull back units once they get injured instead of losing them, unless you really have to. I mean, sometimes you have to lose a few units to take a city or to defeat an army, and that's fine. But if you can keep your units alive longer, it really will help you out in the long run, because you'll get more advanced units because you'll have all these upgrades on them. And the more upgrades you have on them, the stronger they are against your opponents, and in turn the more damage you'll do and the less units you'll need. So I try and keep my units alive as long as possible. There's another reason why I was disappointed that I lost those spearmen so early on in the game, because they already had 2 upgrades, so that was definitely I was in a good spot right there. But not much you can do about that. Cool. We've got sailing knocked out, and these guys are fully healed. I'm going to move them up to Adrianople, and we're going to go ahead and knock out, let's see, we're going to knock out masonry. I want to knock out optics, but I'm going to go ahead and get masonry pushed out of the way, so that way we do have the ability to build walls. I don't necessarily need them right now. It's not like I'm in any threat from other nations, but I would like to just have them available, because I mean, typically sometimes you get to the point in this game where you don't have anything to build. You've already built all the buildings in a city, and the only things you have to build are units. And if you don't need any more military, or you don't need any more workers, or building any more cities, then you might as well just build walls, because they don't cost any gold to upkeep. And later on in the game, I think it's in the honor policy. Yeah, it's professional army and honor. You get an additional happiness from having walls, so that's definitely useful. So we're going to go and pick up collective rule. That is going to give us another settler, so we can found our 3rd city. Let's see, where do I want to found this? There's not really that many good places to place another city. There's silk, that's useful. Deer, so those are a couple of resources. Tells me to put a city down here, but there's nothing useful. There's really no point in putting one there. Yeah, it's not a very useful spot. So I really don't need another city, but you know, just because I want to get as much science as possible, I'm going to go ahead and move them up here. I'm going to move them there for now. I don't know if I'm actually going to settle them there. I would like to get another coastal city, if possible, just so I can have one on both sides, and go for that for now. Hello, we got a new unit. What did we get from them? Where is it? What do we got? A new unit. I want to select you. There it is. Ooh, spearmen. That is nice. That is definitely nice. Got some spearmen from them. So where to place? So I'm gonna go ahead and move them over to the capital. We'll let the archers stay with the settlers in the new city that I build. But I've got a pretty good amount of units right now. That spearman's definitely useful. And I don't really need to build up an army anymore, because there's no threats. There's no other nations around here. There are no, I'm not at war with anybody, and I'm on good terms with both my city-states, so I'm not worried about them. So let's see where we're going to build this city. I don't want to build it too close to the city-state, so I think I'm gonna build it right here. It's a decent location. There are better ones, but that'll be good. I'm gonna go and just build that city right there, and you guys can go ahead and just garrison there. I have no need for you. So unfortunately I can't found the city where I want it to, because it's too close to my capital. So I'm gonna have to found it right here. I I do understand why they want me to build it where they're suggesting, but I would much rather prefer to have this on the coast so I can take advantage of both these fishing spots. And even though I'm going to be getting rid of a location where I could build a camp, I'm not overly worried about it because there's plenty of camp locations around the map, and I really only need one of that rare resource. So we got our third city built. That is good. Let's go ahead and build a monument here. Work on our culture. And we've almost got the Great Library. Looks like we're going to get it. I'm really excited about that. Get our free technology. And almost got a monument built over here. So we're doing pretty good for this early in the game. I'm pretty happy with the start that we've got. And we already got 3 cities, and you know we're doing decent with religion, doing pretty good with culture, and 8 gold per turn is not bad. It's not bad. So I'm pretty satisfied with where we're at so far. I'm gonna go ahead and wait until we knock out the Great Library. Ooh, masonry. That is done. Let us sink this galley. It is gone. Wondrous. Alright, go back to being alert. Alright, we knocked out masonry. What do I want to do next? I'm going to go for construction. I like having good archers. Just because they're very good for defense. And I just like archers. They are cool. And I very much like in this game, when you build a wonder, it shows up in the city that you're building in. I like that a lot because it just gives you all the more reason to enjoy building wonders, because you really get to see what you do, and every one of them is unique. They're all different. You know, I really like Civ 5. It's a very fun game. I've played Civ 4. I haven't played any other Civilization games. I was a very big fan of Civ 4. Played quite a bit of that. And you know, I probably would have said before Gods and Kings came out that I like Civ 4 better, but with the Gods and Kings expansion, it has made Civ 5 my absolute favorite Civilization game. I really, really like it. We finished the monument over here, so we're going to go ahead and work on a shrine just to catch up, because 1 faith per turn is not going to get me to a religion. People are catching up to me right now, so I really want to get my faith game going on, so I need to get that shrine built as soon as possible. And here we are. We now have the Great Library built in Constantinople. Once this turn goes through. Any day now. Any day. There we go. Great Library. We get a free technology, which is the bomb. I like that a lot. Let's go ahead and grab ironworking, and let's see if we've got any iron around here. Got ironworking, classical error, and no iron. Wondrous. That. Oh, that's just. Is there any iron on this island at all? Please tell me that one of these city-states. You have iron? Those are gems. Oh, that's not good. Alright, so that is not good at all. We don't have any iron whatsoever on this island. What's that? Regular mine. So that is unfortunate. I am not too pleased about that, because I will not be able to build any good infantry that early in the game. So I'll have to rely mostly on cavalry. And I'm going to definitely be researching to build up my navy in order to get good enough ships to cross the ocean, so that way I can kind of start expanding onto another island, because I need to get some more cities so I can gain more science per turn and get that knocked out. Let's see. Do I want to go for Stonehenge? I've been talking all episode about how badly I want to build Stonehenge. You know, I'm going to go for it. If I don't build it, I don't build it. But if I get it, that would just be great. That would be a really nice thing to have. Anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode off right here. We have 3 cities, and we're doing pretty good so far. So I'm going to end the episode off here. This is the very first episode of the series, so I really could use your guys' likes and comments and favorites if you really like it. It just helps me get this series out there since it's brand new, and it also lets me know that you guys are enjoying it, that you're excited to see Civ 5. I mean, I absolutely love this game, and I'm excited to bring it to you. So please leave me those comments and thumb up the video, and just you know, I know if you guys like it or not. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys later.